At this point, it should come as no surprise that Amazon is capable of some shady-ish. Lots of lawsuits in various states have been filed over the years and settled by their attorneys general. Financial violations, competition violations, there we go. Price fixing, and so on and so forth, which are all no-nos. And we've covered several of the stories around the extra shady stuff that Amazon does here on the channel. We do that all the time. And I'm guessing that even in the 6-Minute Daily, at least once or twice a month, maybe even once or twice a week, we cover an Amazon story that, is not so nice, or not describing some nice practices that are they're employed by the company. I guess there's really no short supply of this particular kind of story, but there is a new twist. Things are getting ramped up, and it's happening a lot lately when it comes to the labor aspect of things. Unions and Amazon they're coming at loggerheads more and more frequently. So buckle up, because the next 8 minutes of this video are going to be packed with some information from several stories that have happened, and, things that are really going to not be favorable for Amazon going forward. We're about to get in some pretty deep weeds here, so here we go. Let's start here. You probably already know this, but Amazon has always tried to avoid labor unions in any of their shops. Doesn't matter what it is, a warehouse, a airline facility, whatever. They just don't want to deal with the claims by any kind of an established union. And they really don't want to contend with collectively bargained deals. They are very, very clear about that, overtly so. In fact, they're so clear that every time a particular group of workers try to band together, they shut them down by any means possible. Or at least they try to. Now, before we go any further, I want to be transparent in my thoughts here, because I'm no fan of unions. I'm just not. And it's not because I think they're bad. I think a lot of people, a lot of workers, when they get together to bargain for better wages and equivalents like benefits, I think that's a good thing. But the major unions, unfortunately, are utilized as political entities that tend to become corrupted over time and favor one particular side of the aisle or the other. Setting all that aside, I think it's great if you can band together with other folks to actually, work with ownership to negotiate a fair deal. I think that's key. But it's the administration, I guess, that I have a problem with in larger unions. When those entities come in and take over a small labor force market, well, they take that and then they start taking a slice of the pie. Anyway, that's enough of my thoughts on the matter. And again, I don't hold me in too poor regard if that's something that you're into, but those are just my personal feelings. So let's get into some recent history now when it comes to Amazon. On March 16th of 2021, the New York Times went about posting a story. That's about 19 months ago. And they ran an expose on how Amazon crushes unions. In fact, I think that was actually even the title of the article, as you can see here. They covered a story that was tied to a specific Amazon warehouse that was in Virginia. And a group of 30 facilities technicians were trying to organize a union. And that was back again, it goes back a ways to 2014 or 2015. So Amazon was forced to post a compliance document, which was, titled a notice to employees after all of this occurred. The document, for those with some very powerful eyeglasses apparently, clearly stated a list of 22 actions that Amazon would not engage in if you were a union supporter, including barring you from participating in a union. Now, it was forced to post this document. They didn't do it willfully because they had all of a sudden tangled with a larger union, the International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers. And of course, they accused, this larger entity accused Amazon of violating labor laws for 2 years, obviously 2014 and 2015. Now, Amazon admitted no fault here in the efforts to thwart the organization of the union, but they did promise the federal regulators that it would vigorously comply with the rules in the future. Of course, eventually the leader of this particular effort was fired about 6 months after the forced compliance, despite promises to the contrary that he wouldn't be. Since that point in time, things have been, well, increasingly shady. Every time a shop, whatever you want to call the entity, for Amazon goes to try to unionize, the company uses some tactics that put it pretty clearly on the wrong side of the argument. The Labor Department reports show that Amazon spent about $4.3 million just in 2021 alone to bring in consultants to travel to warehouses, urging employees not to allow third parties to come between workers and the company. These consultants visit facilities with scare tactics and post some signs that are misleading and oftentimes intimidating. This practice continues today, as a matter of fact. And there's even a recent story about a Kentucky shop that looks like it's based pretty much out of flight operations that Amazon absolutely does not want to go union. Less than a month ago, in fact, CEO Andy Jassy, the new guy there, that's not Bezos, was accused of breaking U.S. labor laws by spouting a lot of anti-union comments in the media, which is very specifically a no-no. And this sets up a case that, I should say by the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, against the company that is visited on the Department of Labor on February 7th of next year. Now, that case could be settled beforehand, it may be, but the likely outcome is just going to be the same practice of forced compliance, of posting a notice, etc., etc. And these incidents are accelerating quickly at this point. And when it comes to unionization efforts at Amazon, they really do stick it to them. And even if they're forced to take on a union, they will get their pound of flesh out of somebody. In fact, just days ago, a judge ordered Amazon to stop retaliating against its employees for trying to unionize. It seems that the NLRB won a court case in that one on behalf of a fired employee named Gerald Bryson. And you've probably heard that name before because I think I covered this story back when it was happening. You see, this case was filed in an effort to return Gerald to work. It just unfortunately failed. But of course, the silver lining here is more forced compliance along the lines of all these previous settlements. That's hollow succor, in my opinion, but hey, what do I know? Going forward, however, Amazon will need to be a lot more cautious about how it tries to thwart unions because they're under some pretty heavy-duty scrutiny. They'll have to adapt to the fact that some shops are just going to go union, and that they will be union to stay. I don't know. What do you think? Do you think that Amazon is just fighting against the inevitable? Well, when it comes to unions, you pretty much are. And do you think they're seeking to have fair dealing with each employee individually, as they like to say in their PR documents? In fact, Jassy was even accused of doing that not that long ago. Will this actually change operations for Amazon going forward? Maybe. Probably will increase the cost of anybody's Prime shipping. Maybe it'll change some prices here and there. I'm just not sure how much different the operations would be. As it is, this time of year, I rarely get packages on time. And the date they tell me that I'm going to get it in 24 hours is usually 4 days later. But anyway, those are just personal observations there. What do you think? Please utilize the section here down below to have some commentary on this. We can talk about the fact that Amazon is fairly shady. Because they are, at least when it comes to the employment stuff. I don't like any company not having the opportunity to at least collectively bargain. I think that's it's not a bad thing. I think employees should have a little bit of say when it comes to pay, especially in dangerous jobs like Like warehouse jobs can sometimes be very, very dangerous. Anyway, those are just my thoughts. Please put yours here down below. We can get at it. It'll be a good conversation. Support other independent creators here. I always say it. I do mean it. Everybody here deserves as much support as you can possibly give them if you enjoy their content. If you like watching their videos every day, subscribe, hit the notifications bell. Be sure you like the videos that you like, share out the ones that you love. It really does help each and every one of the independent creators. And of course, comments drive the algorithm. They just do. With that, I'll end the video the same way I always do and remind you to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. And until next time, 5 stories a day, good gravy. And don't forget to check out my Rumble at rumble.com/CultureCasino. Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.